welcome back. This is the Series of Opinions podcast, episode number 35, Best Proposals. We are three women talking about the best and worst of media and our opinions on them. So I'm Moira and my pronouns are she and her.
I'm Faith and my pronouns are also she, her.
And I'm KJ and my pronouns are also she and her.
So let's start off with some recommendations.
Okay, I'm excited, so I'm just gonna go first. I know
Okay.
I said I was gonna start letting you guys go first, but not today.
but some other time.
So first, I've been rewatching a lot of stuff. I think I moved to rewatch a lot of things, but just like I want to be simultaneously binge watching everything, and it's not possible to do that. So
I feel that struggle.
I've been confining myself to This Is Us and Teen Wolf. And just kind of been like switching back and forth between them, which has been really good, and I really love both those shows.
Mm-hmm.
And then also I have a TikTok recommendation, Mercury Stardust on TikTok. She calls herself the trans handyman, which I love that. Handyman is going to be my new favorite.
Yeah,
thing.
I love that.
I'm not the most handy person in the world, but she has brought some great tips for little odd jobs or even like crafting. Obviously, my landlord takes care of most of the big things in my home, but there are some things that I am responsible for that I don't always know how to do the most efficiently, and so I've been really enjoying her content.
I love that.
And yeah, it's just been giving me some ideas on things that I might want to do in the future.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are my recommendations. Keeping it short. I have not really been doing anything else. I've been pretty busy the last couple weeks.
Yeah, that is totally fair. I like that. Good and concise. This could be a recommendation, I guess. Moira's already recommended it, but I kind of just remembered about it, and I want to ask Moira, are you caught up on 911 Lone Star?
Oh, I already watched it. And
I'm not.
I'm not caught up either, because I've only watched it on Disney+. But
tell me about it anyways.
Is there something big happening on 911 Lone Star? Because, like, 911 is deep in the drama right now.
Yeah.
Yes, I am also caught up on 911.
The Dusty L fans and the 911 fans. We have a common queer-baiting enemy.
Yeah.
Yes. Someone just died in 911 Lone Star.
Oh,
this
my
has been
God.
The most emotional season. Like, there was an episode. Well, I'll just tell you. Well, I don't know. There was a crash with two of my favorite characters get in a car crash, and I was just like cried the whole episode, the whole time. So emotional, so awful. So I thought that was kind of like the big, like, heart-wrenching episode of the season, so I wasn't ready when they killed off a character.
A different character.
No.
A different character that wasn't in the car crash.
Gosh.
Ooh, okay, I'm gonna have to catch up.
You guys have to catch up. Oh my God,
I've really just been watching on Disney Plus, so I only had the first season, but I really liked the first season, so I do intend to watch that at some point.
I watched it and got all caught up, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch it on TV, and then I forgot how to watch TV on
literally
cable, and I'm like, I don't know, guess I'll watch it later.
Yeah, when they replaced the captain paramedic, Steven Tyler's daughter was first season, right?
Right, yeah. I really liked her.
I despised her. And I liked her character okay, but I hate her as an actress. I think she's really annoying.
I remember you saying that you didn't like her.
Yeah. So I freaking love the new girl, like the new woman that they got.
Yeah,
to play.
I really like her.
Like the new captain. She's not the same character.
Okay, they didn't recast. They just got a new character.
Yeah, exactly. I love her so much, so love the second season. But anyway, I just wanted to ask you if you were caught up, because wow, friggin' emotional.
Apparently
you can cut all that out if you feel.
Yeah, I feel like that was a solid recommendation for both 911 and 911 Lone Star. Although, just be aware, if you're going to watch 911, they're really queer-baiting us very hard. And I'm not sure if it's going to turn into something not queer-baiting, but I feel like it won't.
Yeah, we
still haven't recovered from Destio, like,
at all.
No, it's only been 6 months since Supernatural ended, and it was too soon. It was too soon to have this happening.
Mm-hmm,
very true.
So my second recommendation is kind of like Dodie Central.
Okay.
She has a new album officially out. I talked about it, mentioned that it was coming out, but now it's out, and it's super, super good. It's called Build a Problem, and it's got a lot of awesome songs on it. I freaking love her music. She's probably my favorite singer that's not Taylor Swift. And then it's also, just for, a song recommendation off the album if you're to start somewhere. I really like When. She did, an acoustic version of the song, a long time ago. And it's always been, and probably still is, my favorite song, non-Taylor Swift song ever.
I love that.
So good. I
That's
love
a very
that
high
album.
recommendation.
Yeah.
Right? I love that song so much. And then while I was thinking about this album and recommending it, I remembered that she came out with a book in 2017 called Secrets for the Mad, Obsessions, Confessions, and Life Lessons. It's so wonderful. She's such a great writer, and I don't know, I just related to it in so many ways. She's such a great writer and tells so many just beautifully written, like, personal stories, so I definitely wanted to recommend that as well while I remembered how great it was.
Oh, awesome. I like that.
And those are my recommendations.
Oh, incredible. I have 2 recommendations as well. So my first is Olivia Rodrigo's first album, Sour, that came out this week.
Is she the one that sings Driver's License?
Yep.
Yes.
I've heard so much about that album that it's so good.
You definitely heard Good For You at least once at this point.
I probably have.
Yeah. I've been on TikTok at all.
Yeah, if you've opened TikTok once in the last 2 weeks, you've heard Good For You at least once, probably 600 times.
I've got to listen to that album.
Yeah. I've listened to Good For You too many times, but I don't care because it's so good, and I love the whole album. It's super good. And my second recommendation is the movie called Palm. It's about a bunch of ladies who live in a retirement, town-ish thing, and they create a cheerleading squad and then, compete, and it's so cute.
That is so wholesome, I'm gonna die.
It came out on Netflix, this past week, and it was so cute.
I hope the face little gasp of excitement came out good on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had a picture in my mind of what the banner for that would be. I'm actually living for that.
I love that so much.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
Speaking of cute, should we get into the episode?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so pumped. I'm so excited to just fangirl for an hour.
So today we're going to be talking about best proposals, some of our favorite ones, I guess.
Yeah.
So, KJ, do you want to start off with your first?
Yes, I would like to go first. So my first one is Meredith and Derek in Grey's Anatomy.
Of course.
Season 5, episode 19, Elevator Love Letter. The whole episode is titled because of this proposal.
Mm-hmm.
I love this proposal, but I think it's impractical.
Fair.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As far as grand gestures go, pretty good. So I'm just going to describe a little bit about what happens. There'll be some quotes in here. It's not fully quoted, though. Anyway, let's just get into it.
Okay.
So Meredith is leaving work at the end of the day. Richard stops her from getting on the elevator, which is a hilarious scene because Meredith's like, why are you not letting me get on this elevator? But they aren't talking. It's just an intense standoff. And then her elevator closes and she presses the button, but she's daring him to stop her from pressing the button. And then the next elevator opens and she's like, can I get this one or no? And then Derek is waiting in an elevator. He commits a series of what I imagine must be HIPAA violations by hanging a bunch of patient MRI scans in the elevator. And the scans are all related to their time together. There's one from their very first patient together and one from their friend who just had brain surgery. But even though they've worked all these cases together, they're just hung up in the elevator. And I imagine that must be a HIPAA violation. Also, I imagine if there was some emergency that had happened while Derek was either up or downstairs, depending where this elevator was coming from.
Mm-hmm.
If someone had needed the elevator to get a patient to the OR emergently, I imagine they would have had to step in this elevator, and then there's just patient files hanging up on the walls.
Yeah.
So I imagine this just I don't know. If someone who knows more about HIPAA, let me know if that's if that would be okay or not. Also, convenient that the elevator is lit to make all of these scans correctly. I guess you could always, if the scan room is busy, you can always just use the elevator.
Apparently.
But then Derek says one of my favorite quotes about Meredith. He says, if there's a crisis, you don't freeze, you move forward. You get the rest of us to move forward because you've seen worse, you've survived worse, and we'll survive too. You say you're all dark and twisty. It's not a flaw, it's a strength. It makes you who you are. I'm not going to get down on one knee. I'm not going to ask a question. I love you, Meredith Grey, and I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Which is really nice because I feel Derek sometimes does not understand Meredith.
Mm-hmm.
But in this particular moment, he knew who she was.
Exactly, yeah. And knew exactly how to say it in a very Meredith way.
Yeah, and I don't know. These are all the things that he goes on to resent about her.
Mm-hmm.
But in this particular moment, these were all the things that he loved about her. And
Yeah.
Yeah, I really love it. They kiss. It's really beautiful. It's all in the elevator, which is a lot of action in Grey's Anatomy. It was just, and like, was very important to their romance. And so it was a very fitting proposal for who they are. It's a much better improved proposal versus their other proposals.
Yeah.
Which, include Derek hitting an engagement ring into the woods with a baseball bat. Never to be seen again. And saying some pretty horrible stuff while he did that. So, a lot better, for sure.
Yeah.
Sorry, I feel like I really bummed this out.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Derek's not my favorite character, okay?
Yeah.
Fair.
This was a really iconic proposal, and it was very sweet, and I loved it, but I don't love Derek.
That's fair. So, I guess I'm gonna go?
Yeah, you go next.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. So, the first proposal that I want to do is Suki and Jackson's from Gilmore Girls. So, they get engaged in season 2, episode 13. So, like, throughout the episode, they're, like, fighting about, like, moving in together and basically trying to decide if they want to or not. So, while this is going on, the town is hosting a Bid a Basket fundraiser. One person makes a basket, and a bunch of people bid on it, and whoever wins get to have a picnic with whoever made the basket.
Oh, that's cute. That's really cute.
Yeah. So, Kirk, another character, wins Suki's basket instead of Jackson because Jackson's too busy arguing with Suki. And then Jackson bribes him so that he can have the basket. And then Suki and Jackson have their picnic together and they make up and about moving in. And then Suki mentions that they could actually discuss it for real. I can hear your dog snoring in the background.
I'm so sorry, I was just about to ask me.
I was like, oh my god, it's so cute.
I'm so sorry.
That was so cute.
Oh my god. Everyone else is busy and Emily's like, can he just be in here? I'm like, I don't know, he might be upset when I'm talking. He's fine. He's snoring on my bed. Oh,
that's so cute.
The pug nose problems. Oh my god.
Yeah. Sounds like my dog every morning when I'm doing.
Oh yeah, pug. Oh, pug owner can
And
relate.
you're so cute.
Oh, so sorry about that.
Faith,
Please continue.
Faith, please schedule a photo for this week's Instagram.
Yes.
Okay, I will. I'll turn around right now and take a picture.
Okay, so Jackson says a few things in a way that I can only describe as aggressively nonchalant. He's like, "No, I don't think we should move in together. I think we should get married."
What do you think you do when you get married, buddy?
To which Suki asks, and Jackson repeats himself, and he says, "I think we should get married," with absolute sincerity. And Suki is thrown off guard, and she responds with, "Are you pregnant?" And then she says yes, and then she asks him if she knows that this means they have to live together, and he's like, yes, and that's the end of the scene. They're my favorite couple from the whole series. I think they're so cute.
I'm glad, but I would just like to say for our listeners that I definitely condone living together before you get married.
Yeah.
I agree.
I agree completely, but
I don't like how this argument went down, but I'm glad that it ended up in a proposal, and if Moira says they're a good couple, I'm going to believe her.
They're a very cute couple. They do not get enough screen time for them to have things for you to hate about them, but
Perfect.
Whatever, but yeah, I like them so much. Yeah, so that's it for me.
Amazing. I decided to kind of rearrange mine if you guys are thrown off from the order. But I'm going to start with my shortest one and go to my favorite one. So I'm going to start with Emma and Killian from Once Upon a Time. Season 6, episode 17, Awake. It's their second proposal.
So many of my characters had multiple proposals.
Literally. Yeah, I have another couple that has also
so many
to each other.
Will they, won't they couples?
Yeah. So kind of what's going on generally, because it's Once Upon a Time and it's always so complicated. Killian and Tyre Lily are about to die, and Emma uses pixie dust to make her way to them to save them. She sets them free and then gets Hook back to Storybrooke. And this is kind of amidst the final battle kind of drama, so they haven't been able to kind of spend a lot of time together. And their first proposal, Emma found the ring and kind of ruined Killian's whole romantic moment. So when Emma saves Hook he gets the ring back out immediately before she can do anything else, like enter any other kind of battle, and says, Swan, I know you face an uncertain future, but there's one thing I want you to be certain of, that I will always, always be by your side. So what do you say? Will you marry me? Even though it's short, I think how much I love this couple. I did a whole thing on them for a shipwreck. Even though it's short, I think it's so like powerful and to the point, and it's been such a long time coming, and they're just like each other's happy ending. I think it's so
It's kind of like a callback to when they first started dating. Remember, she was like, well, there's a monster, and he's like, you don't start living your life while there's monsters, like you're never gonna live your life. Like, that's such a killing thing to be like, I gotta propose right now before another monster comes.
Exactly.
Like, oh, yeah, they're such a beautiful couple. It's hard not to like anything.
I know. And even though it's so, like, it's short, it's so beautiful, and it's so well acted, and so them, because, like, Emma has had this uncertain life, and she never knew, like, where she would belong, and so he just, like, with so few words, he just...
I'm really glad that they got a second proposal, because their first proposal, like, A, Emma ruined it, B, also, like, he kind of used the fact that she found the ring to, like, not tell her the truth about something. I don't even remember what it was that he was lying about at the time.
Was it that he killed her? Who was it? Like, who was it? It was somebody. He killed somebody. I don't even know.
Yeah, he definitely killed somebody that she was
Once is so
about.
Complicated. But anywho, that's my first one. I freaking love them so much.
Either way, I'm really glad they got that second chance.
Yes.
Back to me?
Yeah.
Back to you.
Okay, this one's a two-parter because two different proposals happen, and you need the first one to get the context for the second one.
Yeah.
So my couple is Casey and Dawson from Chicago Fire. I assume that there was a third proposal that I just haven't seen as well, to be fair, because I've only seen the first 4 seasons.
Yeah, I have always wanted to watch Chicago Fire, but I haven't. Yeah. I've only watched Chicago Med. So
I assume that there's a third proposal that I haven't seen.
Yeah.
Because I know that they get married in the 5th season.
Yeah, so probably.
But okay, anyway, the first time that they propose, that Casey proposes, is in season 2, episode 22, Real Never Waits, which is the season 2 finale. So Casey proposes at Bowden and Donna's wedding, but they get sent on a call before Dawson can answer. And then the call goes awry, and one of the people on their crew gets killed, who is Dawson's best friend, and she is absolutely devastated, and she doesn't want to associate the proposal with the day that her friend died.
Mm-hmm.
So she says that she doesn't want to accept the proposal, like, literally just because of that. Like, it's not that she doesn't want to get married to Casey, it's that, like, you proposed to me, and then, like, 20 minutes later, my friend was killed.
Yeah.
And so then in season 3, episode 2, Wow Me, Dawson's gearing up to start her firefighting career, and Casey is helping her train at the academy. He's timing her as she climbs to the roof in full gear, and then when she gets to the top of the roof with all her gear on, there's an engagement ring waiting at the top, and then, like, the other door opens and he's there.
Aww.
And they get engaged on this, like, rooftop overlooking the city of Chicago. It's, like, very cinematic.
I almost wish that we had, like, face cam for this, because, like, the faces that I'm making, I'm just like, oh, this is so cute. I love this.
He keeps it really, really simple. He just says, Gabby, will you marry me? And she's saying yes before he finishes. I think the first time he proposed, he didn't say anything, like, super, super crazy either. Like, I think he said a little bit more about, like, how special they were, but, like, really just kept it simple both times.
Oh, lovely.
But then because of just circumstances, he becomes her boss, and they break up, and then they get back together, and they break up again. They have a and then I haven't watched past season 4, but I know they do get married in season 5. They have, like, a Meredith style courthouse wedding. Because they're trying to adopt their foster son Louis, and if they don't get married, then Gabby will be adopting him as, like, a single parent. Like, Casey won't be the other parent, so they have to get married. I assume that there's another proposal. I don't think it's anywhere near this romantic, but I'm excited to watch eventually find out. But I can't watch anywhere right now, so I haven't been for like 6 months. I just know that they get married early in season 5.
Amazing.
Lovely.
It's so beautiful when they're, like, on the rooftop.
That's so cute.
I love that so much. So my second one is Iris and Barry from The Flash. A lot of things are, like, leading up to this proposal. For, like, the whole season, the overarching thing that they're trying to stop is that Cisco sees the future in which Iris is killed by Savitar. So the first time that Barry proposes is in season 3, episode 14. They had just stopped Grodd, the gorilla who could use mind control, and they believed they had changed the future. So Iris comes home to a house filled with candles and roses, and Barry has made Grandma Esther's noodles. He then says this like super nice speech about how he has spent so much time trying to change the future, but when he should have been making the future and creating their own future. So their brother Wally then gets Cisco to vibe him to the future to see his sister's death and hopefully get clues and such. Wally notices that Iris is not wearing a ring when she dies, and this upsets Iris when she finds out. She breaks off the engagement, and Barry is super sad. And he tries to redeem himself by going into the Speed Force to rescue Wally. And Iris does some soul searching about Barry's near-death experience in the Speed Force and decides to go ahead with the engagement. Barry, on the other hand, decides to go in the opposite direction and decides to focus on saving Iris from Avatar rather than living in the moment, and they call off the engagement officially. So, Barry is devastated and wallowing on the couch watching musicals, which is the setup for the crossover event in which Barry and Kara, aka Supergirl, are transported into a musical. For more information on that, go back to episode 3 of our podcast.
Amazing.
It's been a hot minute.
It has been a hot
so
minute.
long. But basically, the two of them realize that they have to fight for each other because love is worth it. And then when they are back at home again, Barry sings the song Running Home to You and then asks her to marry him again. And she says yes.
I've seen that one. It's cute.
It's so cute.
Okay, so my next one is Happy and Toby from Scorpion. Season 2, episode 24, Toby or Not Toby. I don't know if I mentioned this on the pod or after to you guys, but the only reason I even remembered about this and this proposal was because I was Googling Toby and Kate's proposal, and when I typed in Toby, it came up Toby and Happy proposal. I'm like, oh my god, of course! I freaking love that show. It ended a bit ago, but it's such a good show.
Yeah,
I recommend it to everybody, including you two. It's so good. So the kind of general idea is that Toby and Happy work together on a team called Scorpion, which is a team full of geniuses that work together to help the government in catastrophe situations.
Mm-hmm.
Happy is a mechanic and Toby is a psychology expert. So Toby goes over to Happy and says that he wants to talk to her and won't ask her a question. So they go over to the piano. Then he says, I'd never lied to you. I said I wasn't going to ask you a question, but I am going to sing you one. Much to Happy's horror, absolute horror and embarrassment, Toby begins to sing her a song while playing the piano. And I'm going to read the lyrics to you because it's really cute, but I'm not going to sing them.
Good call.
Oh, Happy, I know it sounds sappy, but I feel so crappy when I'm not with you.
I love this one.
I know you'll save me when I'm in a pinch, probably with a monkey wrench. I want to fulfill all your desires like a pair of needle nose pliers. Oh, Happy, you make me so happy. I just rhymed happy with happy because I love you. And then there's a big confetti cannon, and Toby says, I've loved you since I can't remember when, and I'm gonna love you till I can't forget how. Will you please marry me? And it's so sweet. I love their relationship because they're so opposites attract, but they still love each other for sometimes you don't even know why because they're so different. But Toby just has this absolute unconditional love for her, even when she pushes him away, and I love their story and their relationship so much.
I don't know why, but that, what other couple has, a guy that would do that?
Right?
And it took me a minute, but I think it's Kristoff.
Yeah.
Anna and Kristoff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say so. Because Happy in this couple is so, don't embarrass me, don't be showy, don't be flashy, and
maybe
Toby is very
Toby,
much
this is us, Toby. Would also have done this.
Oh, absolutely. Because, and then Toby in this couple is so, flashy, and I want to do the big gestures and show you that I love you and have confetti cannons and, so opposite. So so cute. Definitely.
Toby's in the world.
Toby, come on. Find a man called Toby, because they're all great.
Literally all of them. Pretty Little Liars, This Is Us.
Yeah, this. Oh, great.
All
Find yourself a Toby. Big fan of Toby's.
I love that.
That was my second one.
Okay. So, KJ?
KJ.
Right, we're back to me. I don't know how I could have forgotten because I'm so excited about this one. My next one is Booth and Brennan from Bones.
Aw.
I feel like I've done a shipwrecked on them before, but I can't remember. I've definitely talked about them a couple of times, for sure.
Maybe not shipwrecked, but you for sure done Women of
yeah,
Bones.
definitely did
about women. Women.
I think I might have talked about this proposal when I talked about that, is why.
Yeah.
Maybe,
I talked about how every woman in that couple had either, like, proposed, like, I think all of them had proposed to their partners. So, Booth, just for some context, Booth proposed to his like, co-parent with his first child, Rebecca, upon learning that they were going to have a child together, and was, like, turned down, like, she didn't want to get married, and that's fine. That worked out for the best. They were not meant to be. But fun fact, Rebecca's played by Jessica Capshaw, who plays Arizona Robbins.
Amazing.
She only shows up a couple times in the whole show. And then I think it happened first when Brendan was pregnant, but it definitely happens at the beginning of the episode where they get engaged the first time. Booth tells Brennan that he doesn't need to propose to her because she's going to be the one to propose to him. I think that happened at least once when she was pregnant, but maybe I'm wrong. It definitely happened in season 8, episode 24, The Secret in the Siege. They're talking about getting married, and Brennan always says she doesn't want to get married, she doesn't want to get married, like, you never know how you're going to feel about someone in 10 years. And they're talking about that, and also having an argument about how Brennan didn't buy beef jerky at the store. It's not really an argument, it's just like Brennan's a vegetarian, and Booth's always like, they only seem to be able to beef jerky when you do the grocery shopping. But then they go on this, like, lengthy lunch break. Everybody is on high alert. They're tracking a very intelligent serial killer, Christopher Plot, and Brennan asks Booth to meet with her, and he shows up. He's all freaked out. He's like, what's wrong? Like, what's going on? Like, they've already had a couple of really close calls with the serial killer that's out to get them. And she has a package of beef jerky, and she says that she wants to spend the rest of her life. She can't imagine her life without him, and she apologizes for not getting him the beef jerky because it makes him happy, and she always wants him to be happy, and she asks him to marry him.
That's so cute.
And then they both get back from their respective lunches. They work in 2 different buildings, and everyone's like, where the heck were you? Like, there's a serial killer. They're like, Brennan just proposed to me. And she did it with beef jerky because she's a little weirdo. And everyone, like, Brennan's work is like, you did what? But then Plot threatens Booth and tells him that if he doesn't tell Brennan that he changed his mind, he's going to kill 5 people. So obviously Booth does the right thing and doesn't let that happen. Like, 5 innocent people aren't going to die. And then in season 9, episode 4, The Sense and the Sacrifice, Booth kills Blunt, and he comes clean to Bones about why he turned her down. She says, well, she knew it must have been something like that. And he asks if they'll say yes if he asks her to marry him. And she asks him if she says yes, will they actually get married? And then they kiss. But everybody's watching from their work. Everybody's, like, freaking out because they literally haven't even left the building where they killed this serial killer that they were hunting. And everybody's watching on the security cam for the building, but they don't have sound. And they're just like, why'd they stop? Oh, was that a proposal? That looked like a proposal. And they missed all of the drama about what happened with the serial killer. And they just saw the proposal and they're all just, like, watching it and commenting. The commentary is very good.
I love that.
And it's very cute. And then they get married.
That's so beautiful.
So cute.
It's so cute. It took 9 seasons for them to get married. They had a baby in season 7. Just to clarify, they had a child together in season 7.
Yeah.
I like that, because then by the time that it happens, like, the fans are so committed and, like...
Oh, yeah. As soon as they had a kid, there was no more will they, won't they. They were, like, together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just, like, a sweet moment.
It's always a serial killer. Like, that's how they got together in the first place, was, like, a serial killer killed one of their people, and they spent the night together, and then Brenda got pregnant from that night together, and then they were just together. That was it. It was over. After 6 seasons of very slow burn.
Oh my goodness. I love that.
They're just, like, the most adorable couple in history, and I love them.
Oh, that's great. So I guess we're back to me.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
So the next couple that I did was Jane and Michael from Jane the Virgin.
This hurts me, but it needs to be done.
I'm sorry. But there are 3 proposals between Jane and Michael. I thought there was only 2 when I started researching this, but there's 3.
There was a third one.
There was 3. So the first one takes place in season 1, where Michael proposes to Jane, but she has to stop him and tell him that she has been accidentally artificially inseminated and is now pregnant with someone else's child.
Yeah, it really put a damper on.
Yeah, that'll do it.
The whole event. So they do not get engaged because there's a lot of feelings to work out. Michael later tells Jane that he wants to be supportive of whatever decision she makes, but then he would be lying because he does not want her to have the baby. Jane decides she wants to give the baby to the father, Raphael, and his wife, Petra. Jane then goes down to the police station where Michael works and proposes to him with this very beautiful speech that I'm not going to say.
And you just have to deal with it.
Yeah, you can go watch the show if you want.
Yeah.
It's very sweet. But they're like super happy together for a time, but it's only season 1, so drama. So eventually, like, they break up and Jane decides to begin seeing Raphael, the father of her child. Then a whole bunch of things happen that I couldn't even begin to recount. I tried. I gave up. But after Jane and Michael find their way back together, and then after Petra gives birth to her twins, Elsa and Anna, Michael proposes to Jane in the hospital in season 2, episode 15.
The twins' names are Elsa and Anna?
Yep. It was a joke that they didn't realize that it was a show. Like, no one will comment on that.
Like,
yeah.
I'm so surprised. Like, this was after Frozen, obviously.
Yes, yeah.
And
yeah.
it was the show making a joke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Petra says she wants to name Elsa and Anna. I think Raphael says, like, Frozen. And she's like, what's that? Like, no one's gonna know what that is. Who cares? No, it can't be that common. No one's gonna know who that is.
Oh my god.
Oh my
She
god.
goes by Ellie for the rest of the series.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah. Anna and Ellie.
Yeah.
That's better. Because when you say Anna and Elsa, it's like, hello? What?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Yeah, okay. That just really threw me off.
So also, where is Petra from? I don't know if you know off the top of your head, but she's from one of those countries that, like, Frozen is, like, supposed to take place in.
Yeah. That's why she likes the name, but I can't think of it right now.
Yeah.
I didn't write it down. I thought about it. I didn't write it down.
Yeah, that's also part of the joke is that she's from like, that
Those
area of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't even remember where Frozen is supposed to, like, the
It's one of the Scandinavian countries.
Yeah.
I can't pinpoint closer than that.
I know, I can't even throw out one. Like, I have no idea. I can't remember. I'm such a fraud. Okay, so back to me then?
Yeah, that's you, girl.
Yeah.
That's me. So my next one is Joe and Alex from Grey's Anatomy. I in my heart, they're still together and will always be together in my heart. Season 14, episode 15, Old Scars, Future Hearts. Like other couples we've talked about, they have also proposed to each other multiple times, but this is my favorite and also the last of their proposals. So Joe is all dressed up when Alex gets home from work and is wearing the ring that he had bought to propose to her multiple times before, and when she starts with her speech, he doesn't see that she's wearing the ring and is looking all over for it and wants to propose, but she's already starting to propose, and it's a big, like, no, like, please stop, let me finish, I'm trying to finish, I'm trying to do a speech.
I can picture it in my head. I can picture Alex frantically rummaging through a drawer because he needs to propose right this second.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I watched the clip of it, it's so beautiful, it made me cry. Their relationship is so beautiful, and they were meant to be.
In my head, in the Destiel proposal that doesn't exist, that's exactly how it's going down.
Yeah.
Yes, I am good with that. Like, I totally second that. So when she finally is able to tell him that she has the ring on and is trying to propose to him, her speech goes, I never fit in anywhere, and I kept trying and wanting to belong, but nothing ever worked out, so I had to keep moving. Or maybe I was running from my circumstances, running from myself, running from anyone who dared to love me. I always thought that there's something wrong with me, and I always wanted to run until I met you. You're so screwed up that you make me make sense. You and me, we just fit. I don't want to leave you, Alex. I want a great, big, giant career, but I never ever want to go anywhere without you. You are my home, and you are my heart. Alex Karev, will you marry me? Oh my gosh. Can you, watch that clip and tell me that they're not meant to be together forever? The writers just, totally took a freaking bomb and exploded that relationship for no reason. Oh my god.
The Grey's Anatomy writers and I have beef.
Oh, so agreed. I second that beef. They're meant to be together. They're so perfect for each other, and they totally just, absolutely fit. And I love her speech, and I love that she proposed to him, and that was the final one that they They actually got married after this one, and they're like frantically trying to propose to each other, and the other one won't listen. I love it. It's so beautiful, and this clip totally made me cry. My next one that I'm gonna do, also that clip also made me cry, but this one made me cry as well. Back to KJ.
Okay, for my last one, I have choice. I have two to compare.
Ooh,
Couldn't decide.
So tell me what you want to hear. Veronica and Logan. I know we've talked a lot about Veronica and Logan. Or Brittany and Santana from Glee.
my vote is for Veronica and Logan.
Okay.
I know more about them.
Okay.
Sure, let's do that one.
Okay. Veronica and Logan.
Yeah, you can do both. I mean, I hate for you to have done research for nothing.
Yeah.
No, I just found one after the fact. So Veronica and Logan, because I'm trash. Their proposal took most of season 4.
Okay,
It was a long, drawn-out process. It was a multi-step proposal.
Hey, apparently the ones that stick in your head are not ones that are just one time
You're
done.
done.
Yeah.
So in season 4, episode 1, Spring Break Forever, Logan attempts to propose while Veronica is rifling through his bag. He jokingly tells him that his joke about locking him down sounds like a marriage proposal, or which he jokes is an Eccles ultimatum. And that he's joking, or else he would be in the same room and there would be a ring, and he reveals that he's standing behind her and he's entered the room and asked if she's looked in all the pockets and asked if she's looked in the pocket on the right, and she does, and she finds a ring, and he starts to propose, but he only says her name before she says she doesn't want to get married. She's very upset.
Aww.
And then after a near-death experience and a weird sex dream about someone else from her past, in season 4, episode 7, Gods of War, Veronica asks Logan if he still has the ring, and then when he says, I do, she says, well, look at that, you already know your lines. And that's kind of the proposal, but I want to talk about something that happens after the proposal that I think it makes the proposals better. So in season 4, episode 8, Years, Continents, Bloodshed, it's the next night after they got engaged, and they're talking about which one of them might change their name. Veronica suggests taking Logan's first name and being Veronica Logan, because the Eccles name is cursed.
Aww,
And then,
that's really cute.
or jokes about him being Logan Mars, and then she says, oh, Logan Mars is a softie. And then when he says that she's off the hook because she hasn't told anybody about them getting engaged, and he's told, everybody he knows. She says that she is serious about their engagement, and she will, to quote, Postmates that shit. I will put my bra back on. I am 100% serious. And then she says, I don't want to be off the hook. I'm tired of being a dusty old spinster. Let's do it tomorrow. County clerk's office at 4 if it hasn't already been blown up, because there's a bomber on the loose. And then he asks what they're going to do about a honeymoon, because it's so last minute they're getting married tomorrow. And she says that she'll have to check her Groupons. They are just the sweetest couple ever, and I love them, and they were robbed. We were all robbed.
Yeah.
And much like Joe and Alex, I just pretend that they're fine.
Yeah.
In my heart and soul, they're together.
There are 3 couples that I need to pretend for my own mental health are living happy lives together. Veronica and Logan, Joe and Alex, Destiel.
Yes, and yes.
I don't
My
want to
Mind
think about
Palace,
what the writers have done to them. I can't do it.
Yeah. In my Mind Palace, they're all going on triple dates together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
They are the sweetest. And I love that they just treat each other like Logan's not super rich. She's like, yeah, I'm going to check my coupons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. They have such great chemistry, and I've never even watched the show. Just you relaying everything.
You have to watch that. That has to be the next thing you do.
Gosh. Yes, I will.
Just create them a watch party. Does anybody know?
I have no idea. Probably. I mean, they got it, right? Who doesn't have a watch party these days?
I'm going to have to do some Googling.
I would love that.
To find out if we can watch that as you're watching it.
Yes.
Because Moira and I have seen it multiple times, and we will watch any episode that you're on.
Yeah, I can't believe that I haven't seen it. I had never even heard of it until I think we started this podcast, or I'm sure you guys mentioned it before.
I was watching the episode of Supernatural where Charlie is introduced and Dean Winchester made a Veronica Mars reference, and I just died on the spot. It's all of my favorite things. It's Charlie. It's Supernatural. It's a Veronica Mars
Talking
reference.
about Veronica Mars.
Winchester has watched Veronica Mars? Yes, please. All of the above. Thank you. Veronica Mars was on basically in the time period that the show started, Supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because Supernatural takes place in the year that it is on TV, more or less. Which means that while they've been doing all this shit that they've been doing, Dean's been watching Veronica Mars.
Yeah, I love that it's canon that Dean has the same TV tastes as us.
Yeah.
Dr. Sexy and Veronica Mars. So amazing.
Oh, I love it. Anyway.
Go ahead, Moira.
So the last one that I have prepared is Chuck and Sarah from Chuck. Just a thing that does completely irrelevant, but I'm so sad that I didn't remember Chuck and Sarah for when we did episode 8, because Sarah is so perfect for that.
Aw. Maybe a part 2 someday.
Yeah.
Can you just quickly give us an overview of what this show is? Because I had literally never heard of it, and I was
Me
confused.
neither.
So Chuck is a TV show. The main character, Chuck, gets a computer downloaded into his brain and basically becomes spy. Like, he gets a spy computer downloaded into his brain.
Okay.
And so Sarah is from the CIA, and she's like tasked with taking care of him and stuff, because he's someone who works at the Geek Squad at a big store.
Mm-hmm.
I've forgotten the name of it at the moment.
That's fine.
Casey, one of the other guys that you saw, is from another like spy organization who's also tasked because it's like in charge of Chuck. And then the other character from the scene, Morgan, is Chuck's friend from the Geek Squad.
Okay, I have another quick interruption/question.
Okay.
These two dudes that are like working the like behind the scenes chair thing,
Yeah.
they're gay, right?
They're not.
That seems incorrect.
Yeah.
Those two dudes are together, and I am not accepting criticism. I don't have any context for the show.
Yeah,
I'm
I would like to object.
I'm just telling you that those are two people who are in a relationship.
As someone who would know, yeah.
That's like the scene that I think they have the most like best conversation of the entire series of what I remember when I watched the show when I was 14. But yeah, no, it's really good, and I totally recommend. I have to find it again to watch it, because I watched it on DVDs. And they weren't mine, so.
I thought it was just like me being friggin' a million years behind the times again. Like, I've never heard of this show.
No, me neither.
Yeah, so this is a 2-part proposal. The first part of the proposal takes place in season 4, episode 11. Like I said, there's 4 people involved in this proposal. Chuck and Sarah, and Chuck's best friend Morgan, and Sarah and Chuck's co-worker person Casey, and Casey's also a spy along with Sarah. So Sarah and Chuck are on a mission, and it has just finished, but they're still staying around because it's super beautiful, and Sarah already knew that Chuck was going to propose. So Chuck is standing on the balcony while Morgan is on comms in a different country, and then Casey comes into the room with Morgan and asks him what he's doing. When Sarah gets up to the balcony after like a very cute speech from Morgan about how Sarah has permission to marry his best friend, Casey notices that Chuck has dropped the ring and tells Sarah. Sarah then distracts Chuck so that she can put it in his pocket without him noticing.
Just so sweet.
Oh, it's so cute.
Sarah says that she has been to like too many beautiful places in the world, but nothing as beautiful as this. And Chuck responds by saying that he has, and that every day with Sarah is beautiful. Then makes a comment about how he feels like he should be James Bond, and Sarah responds with, "I didn't fall in love with James Bond," which is very cute. Throughout this, there's also cut back and forth between where we get to see Casey and Morgan reacting to this. Chuck then says, "Sarah, I'm going to ask you a question right now, so please don't freak out." Because she has freaked out before. There's been, like, almost proposals and not quite. To which Sarah said she is not going to freak out. Chuck then delivers this amazing speech about how he loves her and wants to spend their lives together. He pulls out the ring, and a bunch of CIA agents show up, and Sarah gets arrested for treason.
Da-da-da!
Yeah. Then 2 episodes later, once it's all resolved, in season 4, episode 13, Chuck's sister has had her baby, and Chuck wordlessly proposes to Sarah in the hallway of the hospital where they are sitting and waiting.
I actually really liked this part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that there was no sound.
Yeah, it's just...
Yeah, we watched these clips to like rank them at the end, just so everybody knows why we know this.
Even though we don't know anything about what the show's about, and we had to get Marianne to just tell us the show. Yeah. I know about how this was shot with no audio.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I think that was a really cute scene.
It was really cute. I actually really liked the choice to not include like a speech in the second one. I feel like the first one did a fine job of getting the point across. Yeah. Especially if there's been other past proposals. Like,
yeah, they'd done it, they'd said it all, like they knew how they felt about each other. It's just kind of putting the bow on it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Amazing.
That was it. So, back to Faith.
Okay, so this is my favorite one. This is Toby and Kate from This Is Us. Season 2, Episode 7, The Most Disappointed Man. I get so emotional when I watch this proposal.
I forgot that this proposal even happened. When I heard Toby and Kate proposal, I just thought about the one where Toby almost dies.
Yeah.
In,
there is that.
That's literally, I literally forgot that there was another one. And I regretted losing that information in my brain because this is beautiful.
Oh my god. So pretty. And it makes me the next step above emotional because I see myself so much in Kate, and Toby is like my dream man. So I just die.
Sidebar,
my emotions.
Total sidebar, but I'm just nowhere caught up at all.
Okay.
But I saw a picture of Toby and Kate from I guess it must be a recent-ish episode. Online somewhere, and Kate had this yellow dress on, and I was stunned. She looks so good.
She has such pretty dresses. This season they've upped her fashion game even more. She has such pretty masks and dresses and stuff. I live. It's so amazing.
I was like, can I wear this dress? Could I pull this off? Because it was really gorgeous.
Yeah, and one time she responded to me on Instagram. I asked her where her dress was from, and she responded. So really?
Oh,
I love that.
You know.
Did you buy that dress?
No, it's really expensive. It was more than $100, but I'm still love you, girl. It's from Torrid, which is really, really expensive. But I love their stuff, but it's really expensive. Too rich for my blood, but whatever. She
one day will be very famous.
Yes, and I'll be able to wear Kate's every outfit.
That will work at a not job that gets you not famous, but we'll just work hard enough that we can afford.
Yes,
so it's one or the other. If y'all could share this podcast, though.
Yeah, that I'd be really good with that. So, for this proposal, Kate comes in to their apartment, and Toby is in layers upon layers of sweaters. Kate says that he looks like he's gonna faint. Toby then plays Time After Time by Eva Cassidy, since he says that they didn't have Kate's version on iTunes. He then starts to open up his sweaters. He opens up one to reveal Will You, opens another to reveal Mary, another one says me, and then the last one has a question mark. Then he says, our courtship has been unconventional, so if you want to get married at City Hall in front of a bunch of strangers, then that's what we'll do. But if there's any part of you that wants the big wedding, even though it can be scary and emotional and cliche, I think you deserve that, kid. You deserve to walk down the aisle between your two stupidly handsome brothers and feel them love. They are so stupidly handsome. And feel them love the crap out of you. You deserve to spend an obscene amount of money on the perfect white dress. So if any of that sounds good to you, then I think that's what we should do. And I know everyone that you want to be there can't be there. And I think that that's what he would want. And then motions to Jack's urn. Actually, I know it is, because I asked him. I don't want to talk about it. It's guy stuff. So, what it's,
Toby is my favorite person on that show. Every time I think it's not Toby, I see a Toby scene, and I'm like, no, it's Toby.
He always has the best lines, the best speeches. He treats Kate so well. And
I'm rewatching season 1, so I'm just in the part where everybody really met Toby, and Toby came to New York for the first time, and Toby and Kevin were just hanging out by themselves in New York City because Toby doesn't know anyone else, and Toby's like, yeah, I'll help you solve your girl problems. I'll teach you how to do grand romantic gestures. Toby was a bro from day one. Toby and Kevin were bros from day one.
I mean, when he does the red carpet for Kate,
oh my god,
that's one of my favorite moments in the whole show. I think it's so beautiful, and I don't know. I'm really glad that they don't because they used to put him in a fat suit, kind of quote unquote fat suit thing to make him, I don't know, plus size, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they don't do that anymore in current seasons. It feels a little bit less.
Yeah, Toby's got a dad bod, but he's not majorly overweight by any means.
Even though I didn't like how they transitioned him into not wearing that anymore, but that's for another day.
I don't think I ever even noticed, really, but it's been a while.
I knew that there was controversy.
Any after.
Yeah.
I've only really rewatched season 1 recently, so I don't really remember anything that happened.
And there's a whole storyline about him
Morgan-wise.
losing weight and then, like, Kate being uncomfortable with that, and it's...
Yeah,
I don't love it.
I do remember that.
Love that. But,
Yeah. It's a time for Kate. It's a time for Kate. Like, that's not, that she does acknowledge, like, that's her issue.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's not about him, for sure.
Yeah.
So the end of that speech is just, so what do you say, will you marry me?
Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
I can't honestly imagine with Kate. Like, I think that Kate was gorgeous in all the actresses that play Kate
Yes,
are gorgeous.
absolutely.
But she's
Mhm.
plus size, and like I can't imagine being plus size and having your brothers be in the same grade as you and have them be that good.
That hot? Yeah. Oh my god.
Like they were together all the time. I mean, Randall went to a different school at least, but like,
Especially once they got, like, hit puberty and
Oh my
started,
God.
like,
yeah.
the teenage versions, I'm like, I mean, how do you...
Even if Kate had been like a 12, which I mean, she kind of is.
Yeah.
To be honest,
pretty
in my
much,
book,
yeah.
Kate is a 12. But even if, like, you know, she was
Mhm.
a conventional, like, model level 12
Mm-hmm.
out of 10,
Mhm.
I think you still would feel bad standing next to Kevin and Randall all the time.
I mean,
They're so gorgeous.
so stupidly handsome. And I love that Toby's always so aware of that. Like,
Oh, yeah.
how is that possible? How are they
I
so
fully-
beautiful?
Toby's at least bi, if not, like, pan. I think that Toby's bi.
I would definitely get behind that. I could
Toby's
definitely see
always
that.
talking about how gorgeous Kevin and
Mhm.
Randall are.
Literally.
And other people too. And he's always been like a little bit like metrosexual bordering
Yeah.
on like, you know, like he's definitely like in tune with his like more feminine side, which is totally fine. Like straight men can be as well. I just
Yeah.
I just think he comments on how gorgeous Kate's brothers are too often.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, please, if anyone
Writer's
wants to,
Room, please tell me if I'm like picking up on much. Writer's Room, I forget
Yeah.
the name of the actor that plays Toby. He's a like really chill guy from what I've heard. If he hears this, let us know.
Yeah.
Give him FaceTime to
Yeah.
Google.
literally, oh my god, you know that so well. You know me so well. Not from The Office.
No, we don't care about anything.
Chris Sullivan. I knew
Chris
I thought it was
Sullivan,
Chris,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
Chris Sullivan.
I love Chris Sullivan too. He's really cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the end of that one. If
Oh,
anyone
wow.
wants to, please watch that proposal. It's so beautiful and
It
you can
is
cry.
Beautiful.
So
I mean,
love it
like,
so much.
what else is new with This Is Us? But, like,
I really like that Toby calls Kate kid sometimes.
mm-hmm.
It's really funny. It's not like a typical romantic thing, but he calls it that a lot, and I really like it.
Yes, I love their relationship so much.
Just I love Toby on site day one.
Yeah, same. He's totally, like, my dream
And,
man.
yeah.
So, like,
Same.
during this kind of scene, like, absolutely overflowing with emotion. I love them.
What am I looking for in a man? Toby.
Toby. Yes.
Accurate.
I mean, Jack, but also mostly Toby.
I feel like if Jack is like Toby is just a funnier Jack.
Yes, for sure. Like, more,
Toby has all the good speeches, all the
Mm-hmm.
the grand romantic gestures, and he's funny.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Do you want me to do one more? Because I have one more.
Yes, you should.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
I love
Okay,
that.
okay. So, Brittany and Santana from Glee. So, in season 6, episode 3, Jagged Little Tapestry is when they get engaged. And before we even talk about their engagement, I want to talk about this episode as a whole because I have a major criticism for the writers of Glee. I mean, the writers of Glee were regularly off the wall.
Yeah, literally.
There's a whole like trend on TikTok. It's like stitch this with scenes from Glee that should be illegal. And yes, valid.
Yeah.
Every choice has ever been stitched to that. Valid.
Yeah.
I have a major criticism. This episode opened with a scene with Blaine and Dave Karofsky, and I literally had blocked out the fact that Blaine and Dave Karofsky ever dated because
Ridiculous.
by the end of this season, Blaine and Kurt are engaged and married. And I know that the dating pool for gay men must be small in Lima, Ohio, but Dave Karofsky bullied Kurt literally to the point where Kurt was afraid for his life. Like, not just
Wow.
like your like occasional shoving, bullying, which is not a correct attitude to take towards bullying, but you know, like just
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
there's levels of bullying, and this was beyond like extreme.
Yeah.
This was a fear for my life bullying. Like, I'm concerned that a hate crime is going to be committed against me. A hate crime was committed against Kurt at the hands of Dave Karofsky. Like, that level of bullying. And Blaine was there. Blaine and Kurt met during that time in Kurt's life.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that Blaine could literally ever look at the man who did that to Kurt even though he and Kurt weren't together anymore, and think I could have a relationship with this person. Insane.
Really?
Off the wall. I do not understand, and I'm very mad about it. And I feel like that's just, I can't.
Yeah.
Literally, this episode, like, I pulled up this episode and I was like, what the heck is happening? Anyway, back to Santana and Brittany, who are gonna fix this for me, make me feel better about how the writers feel about the LGBTQ community. So, Santana and Brittany perform a mashup of Alanis Morissette's Hand in My Pocket and Curl King's I Feel the Earth move, which is very cute. And then Santana proposes to Brittany, who is wearing the cutest bacon and eggs t-shirt ever.
Aww.
It's a white shirt with, like, fried eggs and bacon that make a smiley face on them. It's the cutest shirt ever.
So cute.
Santana needs to be quoted here because her proposal is so sweet. And Santana's not a sweet person, generally, so I figured this is as good a place as any to ask you this question, mainly because it's going to upset all the single guys and gals in here. But I want to match up with you forever, Britt. I mean, some people love someone because they make them a better person, and that's not why I love you, because you've always just wanted me to be myself. You're my favorite person in the whole world, and we're a big deal, you know? Like, no matter how many times we've tried to put our thing down and walk away from it, we can't, because I don't want to live my life without my one true love. I normally use a lot of words when I'm saying something negative, so since this is the most positive thing I'm ever going to do, I'm going to keep it simple. Britney S. Spears, will you marry me?
Oh, I love that my bottom lip was protruding that whole time.
And then one of the random kids goes, wait, what is happening? And Puck says, this kind of thing happens in here all the time. Just go with it. And then Brittany says, oh my god, yes. And then Kurt is absolutely awful because he's really mad about his own engagement being broken up and Blaine dating Karofsky. And we hate that for him because this proposal was golden. And Santana later tears him a new one, tears him apart in a public hallway to the point where it was uncomfortable to watch. It went on too long.
Yeah.
But he later, like, apologized to Brittany for it because it was sad. And then, yeah.
Yeah. It was so sweet, though.
It was very sweet. This was such a cute proposal. There was a lot of proposals on this show, but I really liked this one. And I really wanted to do one that was, like, a not straight couple.
Yeah.
And Santana is a lesbian and Brittany is bisexual. And we love them.
They're so cute.
Yeah, I was looking up, like, different couples that I love, like, ones that I've done for Shipwrecked and trying to find, like, their proposals. And I was gonna do Arizona and Cali. I feel like if they hadn't gotten in a crash right after Arizona proposed,
yeah,
it would have been, like, romantic and big. And they've had a lot of really nice speeches, but that was not one that I could do.
Yeah.
Because it's, like, a split second and then they get into a crash, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really, really glad that you did that. I really like that.
I really didn't mean to, and then I was like, oh, I should do the Veronica and Logan one. And then I was like, while I was looking it up or something, I think I saw like a Glee TikTok, and I was like, oh my god, Santana and Brittany.
Yeah.
Because I don't really like Blaine and Kurt's proposal.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite proposal. At either of their proposals, I think they have two.
Yeah. No,
I don't like either one of them, and so, you know.
I've watched so much of Glee out.
Honestly, I went down a Glee rabbit hole after I prepared this. I watched like 5 or 6 episodes of season 6. Season 6 was when things were really getting wild. Like they were like, it's our last season. Let's just go off the rails.
Yeah.
Literally.
Sometimes when I am on, especially the Series of Opinions pod YouTube, I get recommended like scenes in Supernatural that are just proof Supernatural was like, what's it called? Oh my god, a fever dream?
Yeah.
a fever dream?
Yeah.
And that gives me that vibe of like, like things are just like going off the walls.
Absolutely. Okay. So, do we have anything else to say about those?
No, that was good.
Okay. No, that was so fun. I really liked it. It was really, really wholesome. It was a good wholesome one. Good to cry at clips that are positive and happy and just full of like love for another person. So wholesome.
Which was great. Do we have any love it or lose it prepared?
For basically all of mine, my love it is their love for one another, and my lose it is all the times that they had to break up to get here, because literally none of mine are straight. One shot, we fell in love, we're together couple. Everybody's a will they won't they couple.
Yeah. They do that so often for TV. And it exhausts me.
I'm just looking at... Yeah. Well, Toby and Kate had kind of two, I guess, two. Joe and Alex had multiple. Happy and Toby had... if anyone watches the clip of Toby singing to Happy, like, mega spoilers for the end, because... Okay, spoiler alert, like, flashing lights, like, Happy doesn't say yes, but that's a whole different storyline.
Okay.
So they also have more than one, and then Emma and Killian also are not a straight shot. So
Yeah.
that's really interesting.
Oh.
Were you finished, KJ? Sorry.
Yeah, I was, but I did just want to tell you guys about this TikTok I made last night.
Okay.
Where I realized that I'm a sucker for a trope of characters who are just in it for their own self-interest.
Okay.
And they don't care what plot shit they fuck up. In fact, they'll fuck shit up on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just started like listing examples. And I did the thing with the green screen.
Ooh.
I had Crowley,
Mm-hmm.
Rumpelstiltskin,
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. I'm loving this list already.
and then the next two you guys don't really watch, but Peter Hale from Teen Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching Teen Wolf, which is why this happened. And Peter Baelish from Game of Thrones, who is the guy who started the whole Game of Thrones like mess. Every series of events in Game of Thrones can be traced back to Peter Baelish. Like all the shit that started all the fighting in season 1 is all his fault, and he did it on purpose to like get a better position. Like I was like, this is very funny. But I was like, why? I don't know why I like this, but I like it. So I made a TikTok about it.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that so much. So my love it or lose it, I would say my love is just like the sweet, thoughtful, like carefully chosen words that couples give each other during like that beautiful proposal moment. I think that's why they like hit so hard. They're just so beautiful and emotional and like intentional. It's like this really, really intentional like I love you gesture. Even as like a 21-year-old that I don't know how I feel about marriage, I know that I love proposals. I think they're so beautiful. Even if I don't know at this point in my life how I feel about marriage, proposals are just so beautiful and wholesome.
I don't want to be surprised by my proposal.
That's interesting.
Because I think, like, to an extent, I don't want to be surprised.
My lose it is just like the general idea of, I feel like it's fading now, especially in like all these couples that we talked about. It was like pretty equal between like man proposes to woman, woman proposes to woman, like woman proposes to man. Like it's pretty equal, but just generally like lose the stereotype that a man has to be the one to propose to a woman.
Yeah,
I like it a lot, especially in shows when they switch the roles.
I'm all for unconventional families, and so like you gotta consider like maybe there's gonna be 3 partners, and maybe both partners gonna identify with the same gender, or you know, the person who does the proposing might not be like a man, or you know.
Yeah, I think it's just really sweet and wonderful when they have different like representation of different roles and different couples, and it's really nice.
A marriage is a legally binding partnership between 2 people, and both people need to be entering into that like fully.
Literally.
So.
Yes.
My favorite proposals to watch are the ones where someone proposes and then the other person pulls a ring out of the bag, and like I was planning on doing.
Those are so
I do love those too. It's usually like gay couples, but
usually.
I think
so cute though.
I think that, you know, if you're a woman or a non-binary person and you're in a relationship with a man, I think you should buy your man a proposal ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
Or some other type of jewelry. I think also we need to like let rings go.
Yeah.
Rings don't work for everyone. I am absolutely terrified of A, losing it, and B, also terrified of one day sustaining some sort of injury or accident that causes swelling, and they either have to cut it off or I lose my finger.
Yeah.
Also, those rings that you cannot not cut, very romantic. That that it can never be cut off. Also, like you could literally lose a finger.
Oh my god!
Sorry, that's
no.
I don't know if you've ever seen what happens to your finger when your like ring gets yanked off, and your finger. Not good. Not good.
No, thank you.
Tommy from 911 Lone Star wears it on a necklace since like she's a paramedic and she can't have like jewelry.
Yeah,
and I think that's really sweet.
In Grey's Anatomy, Callie and Arizona do the pins on the script tops.
Yeah.
I think they also recommended doing that to someone else. I mean, it's also how Arizona got caught cheating. But,
yes.
But I thought that was really just like something like that, you know, like just some other way to wear it, or you know, just don't even do a ring, do a necklace.
I'm literally
there's no rules.
I have no idea what I'm gonna do because I hate wearing jewelry of any kind. I'm like maybe like tattoos or something. Like I don't.
Girl, I hope that you only get proposed to once and it lasts forever.
Literally.
Marriages do dissolve. Divorces happen.
But like that's what getting removed is, or getting a tattoo over it.
Fair enough. I mean,
we'll think on it. We'll think on it.
Any listeners
talk to us first.
Any listeners with suggestions? It's going to be a long time before any one of us gets engaged.
Like we're 20. It'll be okay.
But, like, if we could start collecting ideas now for when that
would be
does
great.
happen, so we can just send Moira's future partner, like, a list, or send
Yeah,
Moira a
of
list.
possible things to
yeah.
do. Yes.
We'd be down.
Yes.
Okay, glad that we got that settled.
I guess I have to do Love to Lose It. I agree with both yours. I didn't write
You can just
anything
agree.
down.
You don't have to say anything.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, no, I'm just agreeing because I couldn't come up with an answer.
Yeah, that's okay.
I did mine off the cuff, so.
Yeah. Next, we're gonna move on to randomized ranking. So we chose 3 couples, and like we watched the proposals. So we did Kate and Toby, Chuck and Sarah, and Bones and Booth. And I'm gonna make you guys go first because I literally couldn't choose, and I'm still debating it. I watched
You're waiting
all
for us to say
proposals 4
something
times.
cute.
Yeah. I found this really, really hard.
It was hard.
I, of course, put Kate and Toby first because, like I said, I freaking love Kate. I see myself in her, and Toby's my dream man, so, like, of course. And then I put Bones and Booth as my second one. I didn't, like, not like Chuck and Sarah's. It's just that, like, Bones and Booth, you can just, like, feel
Yeah.
that there has been a long, like, lead up to this, and they have so much history, and they know each other so well. So it's just, like, more behind them almost.
Beef jerky. Beef jerky.
Yes, and that's so cute and so, like, unique.
was
I
cute.
love that. It's so, like, personalized. Beautiful. And then Chuck and Sarah. I also really like that she put the ring back in his pocket, and
That was cute. I did
that
like
was
that.
really cute. Yeah.
Mine's the same. I just flipped Bones and Booth and Kate and Toby.
Yeah, that's fair. I think we all know what our
But it was a close
ones are.
1 and 2, honestly. Like, they were very, very close for me. I had a solid, like, 20 minutes where I went back and forth. I watched them
Yeah.
both again. Like, I love Kate and Toby so much. They are adorable. But, like, Bones and Booth, like, we waited 9 seasons for that. Kate and Toby got, like, semi-engaged in season 1.
Yes, that is very fair.
Not to say that, like, their love story is any less epic because it happened in a quicker fashion because it's
It
epic
wasn't.
and I love it. But
As long as of a wait.
Bones and Booth, like, had a child for 2 seasons before this proposal. And their wedding that happens after this is so cute. And they have another kid. Oh. But, like, the beef jerky was just very funny. And then, like, if I say yes, will we actually get married?
Yeah.
I propose to you, sir. I love them so much. And it had the same kind of vibes. I think that's also why I like the Chuck and Sarah was, like, the 2 dudes, and Morgan and the other guy whose name I can't remember. Watching that, like, this all go down reminded me of, like, Cam and Sweets and Hodges and Angela watching Booth and Bones' proposal.
Literally when I saw that.
Like, it had those vibes. So I really like that one as well because it reminded me of my faves.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna stick with the original ranking that we, like, just came up with and, like, go with Kate and Toby, Chuck and Sarah, and then Bones and Booth.
Sweet.
Yay!
Love it.
I love it.
So good.
Oh, this was such a fun one to do.
This was good. It was nice to just, like, be excited about love.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But just, like, briefly, not like a full in-depth, this is everybody's story.
Yeah, trials and tribulations and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just the fun
Some
part.
of the sweetest moments of like, couples that we love.
Yeah.
So I don't have any baby names. Do you guys?
Next week we have to do baby names. Promise to the listeners, next week we're doing baby names. Moira hasn't.
Yes.
This is, I think, week number 5 that Moira hasn't had a baby name on her list, and I think 3 or 4 for me and Faith.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, we gotta come up with
So
something.
next
out of all of those shows, there's got to be something.
There's got to be one name you like out of all these medical dramas we're doing next week. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
By the way, next week we're doing medical dramas.
Okay, so is there anything else that we want to talk about? Any last recommendations or anything?
Nope, I'm good.
No, I'm good too.
Fantastic. So that's our episode for this week. You have been listening to the Series of Opinions podcast. Let us know what you thought about this week's episode. Leave us a review or get in contact with us on social media. Our email is seriesofopinionspod@gmail.com. We are at Series of Opinions Pod on Tumblr and Instagram, Series of Opinions on Facebook, and at Series of Opinion with no S on Twitter. You can find me at Moira_Frisk on everything.
You can find me at Miss Faith Ann on everything and at Faith Ann Art for all of my art.
And you can find me at Life Messes of KJ on everything. Thank you to Faith Ebert for our logo, editing by Editing Moya and Editing KJ. And this episode was written, produced, and recorded by us. Bye!